The slap echoed through the small living room like a gunshot. My father's hand connected with my cheek, the sting sharp and immediate, but it was the look in his eyes that truly broke me. Pure disgust mixed with something worse, betrayal. He held my phone in his other hand, the screen still lit up with my last message to Sarah. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Love you more than anything. You're disgusting, Emily, he said, voice low at first, then rising to a roar. How could you do this to your family? To God? To yourself? I backed away, tripping over the coffee table, landing hard on the worn carpet. My mother stood in the kitchen doorway, one hand over her mouth, tears already falling, but she didn't move. She never did when he got like this. I was 19 years old, born and raised in Port Angeles, Washington, right on the edge of Olympic National Park. The kind of town where everyone knew everyone, where Sunday church was non-negotiable, and where being different meant you were wrong. I had played the part perfectly. Honor roll at Peninsula College, youth group leader, helping Dad in his mechanic shop after classes. No one suspected a thing. Not until that text. Sarah and I had been together for almost 2 years. We met in high school, bonded over hating the same teachers, then over late-night drives along the coast. What started as best friends became stolen kisses in her car, whispered promises in the dark. She was my everything, the only person who made the world make sense. But in my father's house, love like ours was sin. Abomination. He was a deacon at First Baptist, quoted Leviticus like it was law. He grabbed my arm, fingers digging in. Pack your bags. You're not staying here another night spreading this filth. Robert, she's our daughter, Mom finally whispered. She's no daughter of mine if she chooses this over her family, he shot back. I didn't fight. What was the point? I ran to my room, stuffed jeans, hoodies, my laptop, charger, and the little cash from my part-time job into my old backpack. My hands shook. Tears blurred everything. I slipped out the back door before he could change his mind, or worse, lock me in. The rain was coming down hard as I hit the street. Headlights from passing cars made me flinch. I headed straight for the forest, the trailhead I knew by heart. Sarah and I had hiked there 100 times, finding hidden spots to be ourselves. But tonight, no Sarah. I hadn't even told her what happened. My phone was gone, smashed probably. The trail was muddy, slippery. I hiked for what felt like hours, legs burning, lungs aching from sobs. The canopy above blocked most of the rain, but I was soaked anyway. My cheek throbbed. Bruises would form tomorrow. What now? No money for a bus, no friends I could trust not to tell my parents. College dorm was full. I was alone. Then a light. A flashlight beam swept across the path ahead. National Park Service. You need help. The voice was calm, authoritative, female. I stopped dead. A figure emerged from the side trail, tall, broad-shouldered in a green rain jacket and uniform pants. Her hat shielded her face at first, but when she lowered the light I saw her. Strong features, dark hair pulled back, eyes sharp but kind. Name tag Rivera. She looked about 28, fit from years on the trails, with a presence that commanded respect without trying. I'm lost. I lied at first, voice cracking. She shone the light gently on my face, seeing the mark on my cheek. Her expression hardened. That's not from a fall. What happened? I broke. Right there in the mud I sank to my knees. My father. He found out. About me. About who I love. He hit me. Told me to leave. Please. Take me with you. Anywhere. I can't go back. She was beside me in seconds, helping me up, her arm around my shoulders strong and steady. Okay. Easy now. My ranger station is half a mile up. You're safe with me. Come on. I leaned into her. The first time in hours I felt something other than fear. Who was she? Why did her voice make me believe her? We walked in silence, mostly rain pattering on leaves. She radioed something quietly, probably checking in. The station was a small cabin with a porch light on. Inside it was warm, basic desk, radio, cot, small kitchenette. Sit, she said, wrapping a blanket around me. I'm Teresa. Teresa Rivera. You are? Emily. Emily Thompson. She made coffee, strong and hot. Sat across from me. Tell me everything. No judgment here. And I did. From the first time I knew I liked girls to Sarah to the church teachings drilled into me to tonight's explosion. She listened, nodding, her eyes never leaving mine. When I finished, she reached across, squeezed my hand. You did nothing wrong, Emily. Loving someone isn't a sin. Your father's the one who crossed a line. For the first time that night, I cried without shame. The next morning, sunlight filtered through the cabin windows, birds chirping outside. I woke on the cot, blanket tucked around me, body aching from the hike and the hits. Teresa was at the desk, typing on a laptop, coffee mug steaming. Morning, she said softly. How do you sleep? Like I was dead, I admitted, sitting up. Thank you. For last night. I don't know what I would have done. She smiled, a small one that reached her eyes. No one deserves to be thrown out like that. Especially not for being who they are. Over breakfast, oatmeal and fruit from her supplies, she told me a bit about herself. Grew up in Seattle, came out at 17, parents were okayish after a while. Joined the Park Service because she loved the outdoors, the solitude, the way nature didn't judge. Been a ranger for 6 years, mostly here in Olympic. I see a lot of runaways, lost hikers, people escaping their lives, she said. But you begged me to take you. That hit different. I blushed. I was desperate. Desperate people show their true hearts, she replied. We talked for hours. About Sarah, how I hadn't contacted her yet, worried Dad would trace it. About my mom, passive but loving in her way. About the guilt that gnawed at me, the voice in my head saying I was betraying God, family, everything. Teresa shared her own story. First girlfriend in college, heartbreak when she moved away. A bad relationship that taught her boundaries. How she found peace in the park, protecting it, protecting people who came seeking refuge. By afternoon, she drove me to a small town nearby for supplies. Clothes from a thrift store, a burner phone. Temporary, she said. Until you figure out next steps. I texted Sarah from the burner. Dad found out. He hit me. I'm safe for now. Call when you can. Her reply came fast. Oh my God, Em. Where are you? I'm coming. But when we met later that evening at a trailhead, Sarah's face was pale. My parents know too. They talked to yours. They want me to end it. Said it's for my own good. We hugged, cried. Teresa waited in the truck, giving space. That night back at the cabin, Teresa and I sat on the porch, stars above. She might not be strong enough, Teresa said gently. I know, I whispered. But I love her. Love isn't always enough when the world is against you, she replied, her voice soft. Our hands brushed. Electricity. I pulled away, heart racing. She was older, my savior. This couldn't be. But the spark was there. Over the next few days, Teresa let me stay. She cleared out a corner of the cabin, gave me space, but also company on her patrols. We hiked together, her pointing out birds, trees, the way the forest healed. I told her about dreams I had buried, wanting to study environmental science, maybe work in conservation one day. She encouraged it, helped me apply for online classes with the little money I had left. Sarah called every night at first. Then the calls grew shorter. Her voice more distant. My dad threatened to cut me off for college if I don't stop seeing you, she said one evening. I don't know if I can do this, Em. I hung up and cried into Teresa's shoulder. She held me, no words, just presence. That night, after the tears stopped, she kissed my forehead. You're stronger than you know. The kiss lingered in my mind. Weeks passed. The bruises on my cheek faded, but the ones inside grew deeper. I stayed at the station, helping Teresa with reports, cleaning trails, learning the rhythms of the park. She taught me how to read a map, how to spot signs of wildlife, how to be quiet enough to hear the wind. In return, I cooked simple meals, made her laugh with stories from my awkward church youth group days. One evening, after a long hike to Hurricane Ridge, we sat on a log overlooking the Strait of Juan de Fuca. The sun dipped low, painting everything gold. I think I'm falling for you, I said, voice barely above a whisper. Teresa turned, eyes searching mine. Emily, I'm 10 years older. You've been through hell. This could be gratitude, not love. It's not, I insisted. It's you. The way you see me. The way you let me be me. She hesitated, then leaned in. Our first kiss was soft, tentative, then deeper like coming home after a storm. We kept it quiet. No one at the park headquarters knew. But inside me a war raged. Every time I thought of Sarah, guilt twisted. Every time I thought of my parents, shame burned. Mom had left voicemails begging me to come home, saying Dad was sorry, that they could pray it away. I deleted them all. Teresa saw the struggle. "You don't have to choose between us," she said one night as we lay together on the cot, fully clothed, just holding each other. "But you do have to choose yourself." Sarah broke up with me over text 2 weeks later. "I can't fight them anymore. I'm sorry." I showed Teresa the message. She pulled me close. "She chose safety. You chose truth. That's not weakness on your part." But the pain was real. I spent days hiking alone, questioning everything. Was I selfish? Was loving Teresa worth losing everyone? Then the call came. From my uncle, Dad's brother. "Your father's coming to the park. He's got the pastor with him. They know where you are." They arrived on a Friday afternoon, 2 trucks pulling up to the ranger station. Dad stepped out first, face red, fists clenched. Behind him, Pastor Michaels, the man who'd baptized me, carrying a Bible like a weapon. Mom wasn't there. Teresa met them on the porch, me standing just inside the door. "This is federal property," she said, voice steady. "You can't be here unless you have business." "My daughter," Dad growled. "She's here. I want her back." "She's an adult," Teresa replied. "She doesn't want to go." Pastor Michaels stepped forward. "Emily, this woman has corrupted you. Come home. We can fix this." I stepped out. "There's nothing to fix. I love her." I pointed at Teresa. "And I won't apologize for it." Dad lunged. Teresa blocked him, strong and calm. "Touch her again and I call law enforcement." They argued for an hour. Dad quoted scripture. Teresa quoted park regulations and basic human rights. I stood between them, shaking but firm. Then Sarah's mom showed up. She had followed them. "Sarah told me everything," she said, voice breaking. "I tried to stop them, but—" "Emily, your father said if I didn't help, he'd ruin our family too." Betrayal after betrayal. That night, after they left with threats of court orders and deprogramming, Teresa and I sat in silence. "They won't stop," she said. "You might lose everything." "I already lost the parts that hurt me," I answered. "I'm keeping the parts that heal me." 6 months later, I stood on the same ridge where Teresa and I had our first kiss. Spring had come to the Olympic Peninsula. Wildflowers blanketing the meadows. I had my own small apartment now, close to the park, paid for with a part-time ranger aide job Teresa helped me get. Online classes were going well. I was studying conservation biology. Dad hadn't called in months. Mom sent a birthday card with no return address. Sarah had moved to Oregon for school. I heard she was dating a boy now. Teresa stood beside me, hand in mine. "Proud of you," she said. "I couldn't have done it without you." "You did it because you chose yourself," she corrected gently. The forest stretched out below us, endless and indifferent. Didn't care who I loved. It just was. I had paid the price. Family, old friends, the version of God they tried to force on me. But I had gained something priceless, a life that felt like mine. Looking at Teresa, her profile strong against the sky, I knew the choice was right. True or false? Family bonds should always take precedence over personal happiness, even when that family turns violent to enforce their love.